and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Good afternoon.
Good.
So, what's going on, people? The NCAA tournament raging on. Saw a big upset yesterday. Kentucky exits the tournament. Ireland, a Final Four team falls.
Out again. One of my Final Four teams always goes out early.
I have never had all four teams in the Final Four. Have you ever picked all four?
No. But, I mean, I feel better about what I did than what Travis did. Did you see what Travis did?
No, what do you do?
4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four. And all 4 never make it.
No, never make it.
Yeah, he's just going chalk to save his ass.
Chalky.
You got to take some chances.
Exactly. Take a run at it. So Linz is filling in today. Linz, you and I, let's just lay this out. So you and I have a little history.
I mean, I don't see why everyone, they blow it up because that's what we do. It's
Exactly.
Sport Talk Radio.
Never.
But, we're friends. We text about each other's dogs and stuff.
How
Exactly.
is Chewy?
He's good. He had a neurological incident recently.
Right. How is he doing?
He's good now. He got diagnosed with IVDD, which a lot of dogs with really short legs have.
What is it?
So basically, if they jump off of things or they play too roughly, turn a wrong way,
right,
the discs in their back can press up against their spinal cord.
And how does that manifest itself? Does he start limping?
Well, he just started shaking and having almost seizures.
So that's how you knew to take him in?
Yeah, it was definitely a neurological thing. He wasn't responding to things. So they said eventually, if I have to be really careful with him, he can't jump on and off of any things. He needs a dog ramp.
What about stairs?
Yeah, he can't.
We've got dog stairs everywhere.
I never had them because everything was pretty low, and I had a bench to get on my bed, but they said that was even too high. So now I have to kind of Chewy-proof everything because one false move and he could be paralyzed and end up with a dog wheelchair.
Damn.
That's no good.
How old is Chewy?
He's only 4.
Only
so,
4.
So
wow.
if Chewy has neurological issues, he's the perfect dog for this radio station.
He is. He is.
Exactly.
I'm going to bring him to Pickleball tomorrow, too.
Are you? Is he coming?
Thinking about it.
He may be the star of the show. We'll see how that goes.
He very well could be. Very well could. You're invited to Pickleball. No matter what the weather is, we're going to be out there. So definitely come out to the Agape Pickleball Center, Fountain Valley. It's going to be a great afternoon. All kinds of people involved, all kinds of partners involved. Brian, are you playing in this thing?
Yeah, me and DeAndre.
You and DeAndre, have you practiced at all?
Never in my life.
Have you ever played?
I've never even hit a pickleball.
Oh, wow.
No, you'll be fine.
By the way,
so I think I'll be fine, too. I used to play tennis.
The barrier of skill entry is very low on pickleball. You don't have to play a lot to be okay enough.
I don't know about that.
Linz, when was the last time you played?
I actually played, I thought it was last year at the tournament, but when I went to Charlotte to see my brother, he's in a league. And I was like, oh, you play pickleball? I had no idea. And so I just kind of played a little pickup game with him and his friends. And I was just like, oh, you guys are really good. I'm not.
Yeah. So here's a suggestion from Andrew, one of our listeners.
Okay.
With Mason falling off his bike and Lindsay hitting herself in the head with the TV, they should.
I didn't hit myself in the head. It fell on me.
All right. They should change their name.
Yes.
From Frenemies to Injured Reserve.
Injured Reserve is
What do
a
you
very
think?
good name.
Yeah, that is
very
a good name.
good name.
But we are playing, so I feel like we're just kind of banged up. What do they call that when people, they're playing but they're not 100%? We're probable.
We're probable.
Questionable,
we're definitely both
probable.
Probable. Now, am I the only one that thinks Shohei Ohtani didn't have anything to do with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Come on.
No.
You're the only one at this
I'm
rate.
with you.
There you go.
Wait a minute, Brian. He knew nothing.
No, I don't think he knew nothing, but
Mason
I
thinks
think
he knew nothing.
I think he knew. I think this guy got into his bank account.
Now, keep in mind, Mason also thinks Pete Carroll knew nothing about Reggie Bush.
I'm
when
going
he
to
was at
send out a
USC.
link to the 36-page NCAA report, which makes that conclusion.
True or false, you think Pete Carroll knew nothing about Reggie Bush? Okay.
That's what the
True or false, you think Shohei Ohtani knew nothing about Ippei?
I think it's very possible he didn't.
Okay. So, if nothing else, you're consistent.
Well, you know what? You know what it is? I hope the best from people.
Yes, you do.
So in the case of Shohei, everybody's already reached some conclusion where he's out gambling on games left and right. I mean, I'm listening to this stuff, and it's totally unfair to reach those conclusions. It is very, very common for somebody to have access to your bank account. That does happen. If you're in a you've had business managers. I've had business managers. People get cleaned out by their business managers. This guy had access to everything in Shohei's life. Is it not possible? Is it not possible that Shohei knew nothing about this?
No.
Is it not possible?
No,
he knew
I don't
nothing?
think it is possible. Here's what after reading, I read probably 5
I've been just
articles
eating
about
this
last
stuff
week.
up. Yeah.
So tell me if you agree with the conclusion I've come to for now.
Okay.
With the facts we know now, and I know we're going to get new facts all the time.
Yes.
Based on how everything went down, I now think that the story that Ippei told ESPN was the true story. That he was the one gambling. Shohei was not.
Right.
He went to Shohei and said, I'm $4 million in the hole. Shohei said, I'll bail you out. And Shohei was sitting next to him when he did those wire transfers. Then, when Shohei got lawyered up, they said, hold on, you just implicated him. He's not allowed to send money to an illegal bookmaker.
Right.
That implicates Shohei and puts him in legal jeopardy.
By the way, beyond that, if Shohei sent those wires, he's committed a crime.
Correct. And so then I think they came out and they said, in order to inoculate Shohei from any legal problems, the story has to be that Shohei knew nothing.
Okay. So
that's what I think. That's what. And so then they flipped the story. They said Shohei knows nothing. The lawyers are thinking there's no way to prove otherwise. Now our client is inoculated.
Okay. So here's the way I think it went down. Yeah, and this is my theory. My theory is that this guy did it. Okay, this guy had access to Ohtani's accounts and whatever and wired money without Shohei knowing. Then the guy apologized, said he had a big gambling problem. They start doing this story, and Ohtani decides, I'm going to cover for my friend. He got in trouble. I'm going to cover for him. And
so
then,
in this world, in this story of yours, Shohei didn't know that his friend was gambling his money. But when he found out, he said, okay, I'm going to protect him.
I'm going to protect him.
Okay.
And then the Dodgers said, and baseball or whoever said,
the lawyers.
Oh, no, you're not.
Because it implicates you.
We're going to stick this entirely on him.
Right. Now, Lindsay, what do you think?
I think it's very hard to believe that what Mason's point of view. Because nowadays, it was an international wire transfer for $500,000, 2 of them.
Well, and now we hear there were 6 to 8 of them.
Right. So I was saying, when I had to send money, like if you do it via bank transfer, it's not just like, I'm sending you on Cash App or Venmo. They make you verify everything. They have like biometric IDs.
Yeah, it just happened to us because we've been dealing with this house we're doing in Idaho. And we had 2 people call Lisa and I and said, we need to verify this from both of you because both of your names are on the account.
You probably had to show your ID and do the thing where you hold up your ID next to your face, stuff like that. So I think he definitely sent the money himself. I don't think that you're going to be able to send $500,000 without him knowing, without Shohei knowing.
Okay,
I think
so
that's crazy.
Let me break from my story. Take your thesis.
Okay.
Shohei Ohtani's getting suspended.
If I'm right.
If you're right, he's
but
getting
not
suspended.
If you're right.
If he knew about it and he wired that money, he's getting suspended for some amount of time.
Yeah.
He's sending money to an illegal bookmaker.
But
if if that's what he did, he's in trouble.
Even if it can be proven, what I said that he had nothing to do with the bets,
Still wired money to an illegal bookmaker that's under investigation by the feds.
To help his friend.
I mean, you don't think that's a suspension automatically?
I don't think it's automatic, no. I think he could be in some legal jeopardy, but it's up to baseball. It's a commissioner whether or not to suspend him. So, for example, David Stern was pro-suspension. He would suspend guys at the drop of a hat. I remember one year, Kobe kicked his legs. We were playing a game in Milwaukee. Kobe kicked his legs out, and it was the second time that season they did it, trying to draw a foul.
Right.
And David Stern suspended him for the next game at Madison Square Garden. All those fans had bought tickets. Adam Silver would never do that. Adam Silver would fine him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what side of the fence Rob Manfred will fall on. If he believes, let's say Rob Manfred believes your version of events.
That this guy got into his account, sent the money, Shohei didn't know about it.
But then covered for him.
I
think he fines him, but I don't think he suspends him.
If Shohei made that wire transfer or any number of them to this gambling syndicate guy, I think Shohei's getting suspended.
Somebody here, we got a bunch of good tweets. All right, here's somebody.
Yeah, I know. People are all over.
Well, here's
all
somebody
fired up
that backs you and your original theory. Joel, you guys are forgetting about Tim Duncan's case. He lost $20 million through a financial advisor. Of course, people who have access to your bank accounts can easily steal from you. All right, so that's one
Is
version.
do you know this Tim Duncan story?
I don't, but it's just from Joel. But I know a lot of people that have been ripped off by their business
manager, absolutely.
I mean, that have been a Kareem.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to do that now, again, with like
Well, to your point.
the identity theft and everything. They're
Yeah.
so strict about sending money these days.
Okay, so this backs up Lindsay's point from Mario. Shohei absolutely knew, and Ippei did not steal his money because Shohei would get bank alerts for a transfer that large.
There's no way he didn't know about it.
But if Ippei is running, or is it Ippei? I don't know how you pronounce it.
Ippei, I think. Yeah.
If it's Ippei, I don't know. Maybe he's running everything, holding his phone,
Totally
getting the
could.
alerts.
Well, it's not. You know what? I didn't even think about this, but Ippei for years has now been in every single meeting Shohei has had, whether it's scouting reports or contract negotiations or anything, Ippei is there.
And part of why I don't believe your theory is that if you're that close to somebody, if you're with them all the time, they're going to know. Like, I don't think Lisa could move that kind of money without me knowing and not tell me. Maybe she could. Maybe Juan could. Do you?
Juan could definitely.
Because you and I are definitely not handling the money in our respective relationships.
Nope, not my department.
But to Lindsay's point, this is so much money.
Yep.
That I think I believe my version of the story, which is Shohei didn't bet. I think Ippei bet, but Shohei, when he found out his friend was in trouble, Ippei said, "I got to pay this guy. I got to pay this bookmaker." Shohei sat down with him and said, "Okay, let's pay him." And then when his lawyers and the Dodgers and Major League Baseball got involved in it, why would Ippei concoct that 90-minute story to ESPN that makes him look terrible if it wasn't true?
He's taking the fall.
Well, I have a question about that.
Is he taking the fall for Shohei?
Right. But why go into that? Why even agree to sit down with ESPN and incriminate yourself if it? I understand he's taking the fall, but why give that much detail if it wasn't true?
Well, was the interview scheduled before they found this out and they reached?
No, what happened was
there were several people working on the story, and it got close to being printed, and Ippei followed the Mason and Ireland edict. If I don't tell my story, somebody's going to tell it for me.
So he was getting out in front of it.
Right, trying to get out in front of it.
So my question is, if Shohei had nothing to do with this and he was just trying to help out his friend, why even bring up the gambling part? Why wouldn't you just be like, oh, he was in trouble, I didn't ask the details, I didn't know what it was?
Well, it's hard because it came right from his account.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why can't you not implicate Shohei by saying, I told him I was in trouble, I told him I needed this money. Like, Shohei doesn't know this guy's name and that he's a gambling boss or whatever. You know, he could just say, I was helping out my friend.
Could
he
be
needed the
just
money.
some blind. Right, that's the other thing. He didn't necessarily know he was wiring money, or wiring money wasn't necessarily to an illegal bookmaker. You wouldn't necessarily know if you were sending a wire to some guy named Michael Bowers.
Yeah.
You didn't necessarily know you were funding something that was an illegal bookmaking operation.
All right, here's
but if that's
some
the
good
case,
info.
why wouldn't you just say that then in the first place?
Yeah. Here's some good info from Robert Wilkins. Thank you, Robert. He said that Ken Rosenthal and Andy McCullough dropped an article last night, and this is exactly what we're talking about. He's in the article. This is McCullough and Rosenthal. It says, if Ohtani was simply paying off Mizuhara's debts to an illegal bookmaker, he might have broken federal law, but would reside more in a gray area in regard to baseball. Even if subsequent federal investigations determine he placed bets with an illegal bookie, league precedent suggests he would only receive a fine. In 2015, the league fined Marlins pitcher Jared Cozart an undisclosed amount for determining he made illegal sports bets. But because the league found Cozart did not bet on baseball, that was the extent of his penalty.
So he got just a fine.
Right. So that's what I think baseball will do. If either your version or my version is right.
Yeah. If my version is right, I don't think they do anything.
They'll fine him.
Yeah.
Just so they can say, okay, we did something.
Yeah. Even if Ippei got into his account and sent the money himself?
Yeah. It's the old you should have known. They can't do nothing. You don't think they can do nothing, do you?
Why can't he just dispute it on his bank?
Well, Ippei is going to be in trouble. He made illegal bets through an illegal bookmaker.
Yeah, but, okay, and not to be cold here, but we don't really care about Ippei. I mean, I don't want to see anybody go to jail, but
Right.
he's got to face some music now. All we care about, the reason this is a big story to us,
It's because
is
we
it
want
could
the
take-
Dodgers to win the World Series
Correct.
with Shohei Ohtani.
and very selfishly, I don't want to see Shohei
Oh,
off the field.
God,
I
no.
want to see him play. I'm really excited about that.
Actually, that's an interesting point. Major League Baseball would not want to see Shohei off the field.
Correct.
Like, Rob Manfred will go out of his way to make sure Ohtani is still available, eligible, isn't suspended, and can play every day. All right, tell you, coming up next for you, we'll continue with this. Plus, I think Pepe and Michael are coming in today. Is today Pepe's potpourri of
It
lies?
is, and he claims he has a surprise.
Oh,
You know,
boy.
this is winding down because as soon as the Lakers season ends, which could be
Shortly.
in 3 weeks or it could be in 3 months.
Right.
But we lose Pepe and Michael till the start of the
That
next
is right.
season.
That is right.
So we've got to milk Pepe's potpourri of lies as many times
While
as
we
we
can.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also coming up, have you heard about the Free the Tea movement, John?
Free the tea.
I'll explain it coming up next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Oh,
ZipRecruiter.
time to talk about ZipRecruiter. I love ZipRecruiter. My buddy Ian Siegel puts it this way. He invented ZipRecruiter. He says they don't leave anything to chance. And here's what he's talking about. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology. So if you're hiring, if you're in the marketplace looking for people to work for your business, normally that can take up to 11 weeks. But with ZipRecruiter, you can get a quality candidate in 1 day. As a matter of fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 24 hours. So speed up your hiring process with ZipRecruiter. You can go to this website and you can try it for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's the website to go to if you are hiring. If you're looking for a job, you can go there too. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. You go there, you post your job for free, see the results right away. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
You never have to miss a moment of
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Join us.
Now,
So, John, you're a big golfer.
Yes.
And I was reading about this movement called Free the Tee. And apparently what's going on is that, and when I go and hack around, I always go to Rancho Park. Apparently now people are buying up tee times and then reselling them to other people.
So it's a little more complicated than that.
Okay.
But your facts are correct.
Yes, thank you.
So what happens is all these tee times are you go online to get them.
Yes.
So somebody has come up with, not surprisingly,
Mm-hmm.
an algorithm, a bot,
Yep.
that the second those tee times become available, the bot takes them all up. And then who's ever running this bot goes in and then sells those tee times to other people for more money than they would have had to pay. It's basically, think of tickets to a concert.
It's like it's the StubHub of tee times.
Right. And this is a big story. All the news channels are doing stories on it. If I were the city, and these are all city-owned golf courses, I would shut this down.
Well, how can you not? I mean, it's got to be illegal in some way, doesn't it?
I don't know if it's
You're
illegal.
stealing up everybody's tee times, then you're reselling them.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to have a third market or a second market for tee times?
I don't know, but somebody has created it. And if I were the city, I would just go to a different computerized system that can't be hacked the way this one was. Because think about it this way: most people can't afford to join a country club.
Correct.
And
So they play at city courses.
right. And the prime times at city courses are in the morning, because the longer the day goes on, the longer it takes to play. The course
Yes.
gets backed up. If you tee off at noon at Rancho Park, you're probably not getting done until 5:30 or 6.
Right.
If you tee off at 7 in the morning at Rancho Park, you're done by 11.
Yeah.
So it means something. It's time, and I think the reason, like, we pay taxes to play on these city courses.
Right. We're paying for them.
Right. So I think it's wrong that somebody is able to usurp these tee times and then sell them for more money.
So
than
whose
they
job
cost.
is this? Is this Karen Bass?
Well, the city.
Is this on her doorstep,
Wait, why-
Karen Bass?
why-
Another problem with Karen Bass.
Why don't they just go back to like the old school calling to make tee times?
They could, but then they'd have to hire more people to work the phones.
Well, I mean, don't know. It seems the fair thing to do.
How many
Right.
tee times are there a day? 20?
Thousands.
30? Oh, thousands?
Yeah.
No,
I
let's
mean,
say
around
at
the
Rancho
city?
Park. At
Oh,
Rancho
at
Park.
Rancho
How many?
Park. Well, every 7 minutes, starting at 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
So so what's that in 60? So 9 in an hour.
You have 9 in an hour.
And then
She's
how many?
doing the math.
how
I
many-
can actually hear the noise of
Yeah,
math
and so
being
let's say you can tee off for
calculated.
8
Yeah.
hours.
8
so
hours.
about 70 a day.
70 a day. There you go. Just answer the damn phones.
Is that only a problem around here?
Well,
Somebody must be running the scam elsewhere, right?
Yeah, I've only heard of it being around here, but I'm sure other people have tried it before. And I think those tee times should be available to whatever they cost to the general public without letting a bot take them all up.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I
I'm-
were the city,
I'm for that.
So the question we're asking is, should city officials get involved? And the answer to that question is yes.
Regulation.
Yeah. They need to
In this area, yes.
They need to get in front of it.
Mayor Bass, this is on your watch.
Or I think there was just one story I saw on Channel 7 was they have a meeting, a city council meeting, like every week. And
Yes.
somebody came to the city council meeting and said, you people need to fix this.
Right.
And the council agreed. So
They agreed, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's going to get corrected.
Okay, good. Good.
But yeah, it's not okay.
And by the way, I've got these big sort of tree branch. You know how the roots go under the road and then
Yeah.
the road gets really. I've got some of that too. So Mayor Bass, it's on your watch.
So there used to be this city councilman named Tom LaBonge.
Yeah, I remember Tom
He
LaBonge.
passed away. But,
Yeah.
somebody had told me years ago that if you ever have potholes,
Yep.
that Tom LaBonge is the one to call.
Yep.
So I literally Googled his office number, called him, and nobody answered, but there was a machine. I said, hey, Tom, I didn't even use my last name. I said, hey, Tom, my name's John. I live at, gave him my address.
Yep.
I go, my street is covered with potholes. I was told you might be able to do something about it. Here's my number if you have time to call me back.
Yep.
I went and did a show with you. At some point during the show, the guy left me a message, and it was from LaBonge himself. He goes, John, just wanted to let you know I got your call, and the workers are going to be out at your house on Friday. and it was fixed in
Seriously?
3 days. Yeah, but I don't know if there is a Tom LaBonge anymore.
I've been complaining
who was that proactive.
I've been complaining to Tracy Park, my council person, for the last 2 years, and I can't get a phone call back from her.
Well, so we need a new Tom LaBonge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy was great.
Yeah, no, that's the way council people should be. Yeah, so the tea time thing, I assume it's going to work out.
I hope
assume
so.
it's going to work out.
Yeah, because that's ridiculous if people can't get tea times because some bot up and then triple in the price.
Okay, we want to remind everybody that tomorrow is Pickleball Madness at Agape Pickleball Center in Fountain Park. We want to see
Fountain Valley.
Fountain Valley.
No, it's Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley.
Somebody should write this stuff down for me. Anyway, we'll be there tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. Rain or shine, we're there and we're playing.
We should point it out. If you wake up in the morning and it's raining, we're going no matter what.
Yeah, no matter
what. We're all
what.
going to be there no matter what the rain's doing.
Go time. It's happening. All right, and Michael Thompson's going to join us coming up. We'll spin the wheel of questions. Hey, I talk on Fridays. The LA County Department of Mental Health gives me a chance to talk a little bit more about people and their mental health journeys. So, since I've been doing these endorsements with the LA County Department of Mental Health, I have heard from so many people who DM me and say, this is what's going on for me and this is what's happening right now. And I think that's an important lesson. Now, you don't have to reach out to me, but you should if you're having trouble with any kind of emotional issues. You're overwhelmed or you're depressed or you're having trouble with your relationship or at work or you've got anxiety. You got to find somebody to talk to. If it's DMing me, so be it. But here's a better option, the 24/7 helpline that is offered by the LA County Department of Mental Health. Don't be afraid to use the number for free emotional support, service referrals, crisis counseling, or just somebody to talk to. 800-854-7771. That's 800-854-7771. You can also visit their website at dmh.lacounty.gov. The LA County Department of Mental Health is there for you with hope and recovery and well-being. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, Parker.
What's up, Greg?
Spring training. All right, Parker.
Jeez. Little Ohtani and Dodger blue.
Yeah, why are you looking at the camera?
I don't know. Let's start over.
All right, Parker. Dodger spring training.
That's right, Greg. Ohtani and Dodger blue.
Yeah, Yamamoto's here. Pretty excited about that one.
Tons of new faces. I mean, Kike's back.
Yes, it's great. Maybe we should talk about it on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
I like that idea. What do you say, 9:30, 9:55?
Right, leading right into Travis and Sliwa. Get a couple guests.
Maybe Marcus Grant, Travis Rogers, perhaps?
Yep, just have a bunch of people come in. Maybe Clinton Yates will even find his way in.
Oh, you always want to have the handsome man president right there.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think we should do that. We'll do it every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 9:55 on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Thanks to LAX.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Michael Thompson is here.
He wants to hear my question.
MT in the house.
All right, Michael making his way in. Lakers, Sixers tonight at Crypto.
In the Bahamas sweatshirt.
All right, Lindsay, what do you got?
All right, so my question for you guys is inspired by an article I found today online when I was doing some show prep.
Okay.
And it is being liked more important than being good at your job?
Is being liked more important than being good at your job?
I would say no, because if you're bad at your job, you're getting fired.
I don't know. I feel like if someone like adores you and you're still really good at your job, you know, they could be like, well, he's such a great guy. We could train him up, teach him up.
Don't these things kind of go hand in hand? Like, isn't part of being good at your job being liked?
Nope. Ask Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that Jordan.
Oh, yeah, ask
Jordan
Bill Belichick. Sure, there are guys like that.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe was just tough as hell. Like, Kobe and Fish used to tell me they were good cop, bad cop.
Right.
Kobe would walk in and go, "What the F are you MFers doing? You're killing us." And he would yell at everybody and then walk out, and Fisher would go, "Here's what he means."
Right.
You know, and you would do it that way. And
is being liked more important than being good at your job?
No, I think it's more important to be good at your job, right?
It's more important to be good, but you can do both. Like Magic Johnson, he was liked and very good.
Yeah,
even though he was tough. But he was
around
liked.
here, you need to. I mean, you've got to do both.
Right.
You've got to be liked. Otherwise,
Do you think you're
even
liked?
if
I know you're good at your job, no question about it. But do you think
Michael,
Steve Mason's is liked?
I think I'm feared.
I like that. There you go. That's right. Exactly. It's best to be feared and respected.
Best to be feared
and respected than liked.
Lindsay, what do you think?
I think you have to be liked, like being liked and likable. I think it tends to be more important than your skill set, because how do people advance in interviews? You know what I mean? What if you're between you and somebody else and they may be a little bit more qualified than you, but you just win over the room because you're likable?
Yeah.
You know, this all played out in that dynasty thing on Apple about the Patriots. So nobody liked Belichick. You'll see why if you watch it. He was just a complete a-hole. But he was so good at his job that Robert Kraft picked Belichick over Brady, which looking back was a huge mistake.
Right.
But applying your question to it, Lindsay, Belichick was so good at his job that it didn't matter he wasn't liked. And then eventually Brady goes to Tampa, and everybody liked Brady.
Right.
You know, that I think
Did
it was
Dr. Buss make that same decision between Shaq and Kobe when he had to choose?
correct. Shaq was liked.
Yeah.
Kobe was feared.
Right.
And he said, Shaq, see ya. Kobe's too good at his job. So I think that those are two examples that answer your question. Kobe MF'd everybody.
Yeah.
Shaq was the most popular guy on the team. But Dr. Buss looked at who's better at their job and said, Kobe's 6-7 years younger.
Right.
He's better at his job. I'm riding with Kobe. Bob Kraft. Belichick's an a-hole, but he wins. And he just held the Rams to 3 points in the Super Bowl. I can't fire Belichick. I gotta cut Brady.
Although everybody knows somebody at their job who's just liked by everybody, who isn't particularly good at their job, but everybody likes them, so he keeps going. Don't you know people like that?
I think so. And nowadays in 2024, I think that goes a really, really long way. And plus, like, you know, people adapt, and it's not like these skill sets aren't as important as they used to be. They figure, you can figure it out. You'll learn on the job.
You know, it's interesting when Mace.
Yeah,
when
who would that be around here?
Yeah.
Well, Mace,
liked, but not that good.
Well, Mace, when you ask that question, I got to tell this story in code.
Mace, you got
There
somebody.
is someone that
Look
works.
at Mace. He's got somebody in mind.
No, there is. But Michael, I don't even know if you'll be able to figure this out from my description. There is somebody that works at the Laker games. Okay. Terrible at their job. Terrible. And I said to somebody the other day, why do somebody who is in the decision of whether or not to keep this person employed?
Right.
I said, why do you continue to employ this person? They are terrible at their job.
Oh, yeah, I
and
know
the
you mean.
response, Lindsay, was, too nice of a guy, can't fire
See,
him.
there you go.
See?
There you
It's
go.
true.
Yeah.
I know
It's
what you
true.
mean.
Yeah.
Who around here is like really nice but not good at their job?
Well, don't say
Why are you
not
looking
good
at
at their
me,
job. Just
We
say
cannot have that
Brian.
conversation.
Brian.
No.
No, Brian
No,
nails it
I
every day.
think those people around here tend to get weeded out. We've had some really nice people that have worked with us that just didn't make the cut. And when they get fired, you go, wow, I really
like them.
Yeah, I really like that guy.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Oh, I hate to do this because he's such a nice guy.
Right,
Such a
but
nice guy.
normally if they're not good,
Have you ever had to
hit the
fire somebody?
bricks. I don't think so. You did, right?
I did.
You were in a position of
Yeah,
hiring
me.
and firing.
Yeah, right, Lindsay.
Well, you got Lindsay transferred.
Yeah,
That wasn't a fire.
Yeah, it was a transfer. So
you traded her.
I traded her. When I was when I was a program director, I had to fire people. It's such an awkward thing. I had to fire a friend. I had to fire my brother who was working on my radio show. Travis was working on my radio show.
Was there a hangover after that?
No, because I said, look, I don't have any choice. They're making me fire you, so I have to fire you.
I was watching The Godfather the other night, and this comes up in The Godfather, in Godfather 2, when Robert De Niro is working at the butcher shop.
Yep.
And the guy who's the evil Don who's running the town comes in and says, you need to hire my son.
Yep.
And the butcher goes to Vito and says, Vito, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I got to let you. And De Niro cuts him off and goes, you have to give him my job. Because he goes, you've been great to me. Don't even worry about it.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, normally I think, going back to the original question, Lindsay, I think if you're bad at your job, that tends to get you fired more than being a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple of, I guess it was last week, maybe week before, I got a text from Michael Thompson. And Michael, do you remember what you texted me?
Were there several things misspelled?
Yes.
In the text,
yes.
yeah. That's how you can tell it's from Michael.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
It started out something like that. What did you text me, Michael?
I don't know. I sent you a text.
Just to you.
Just to me.
I sent you a text of a shirt I want you to get me. Did you get it?
Yeah. Now, why did you think that I would go out and buy a shirt for you? And why was I the person that you asked?
Because you always
I've already bought you a shirt. Why didn't you send it to me? I would have bought it for you.
He sent a link to this shopping site or whatever.
Gunsmoke.
Where you could buy a shirt.
Well,
and I'm
you do often reference his Gunsmoke obsession.
Yeah, you always make fun of me for watching those shows and being addicted to them.
I think he was sending it to... Oh, he got it!
Oh, yes.
And I think you got a big enough size, too.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you, Mace. You are a nice guy after all.
Of course. Now you're going to pay me back, right?
Okay.
So you look like the late Doug Man?
Yeah, you're Doug Man. You're coming for the pies.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the shirt say?
Some of us grew up loving Gunsmoke. The cool ones still do.
There you go.
I like that,
Cool
Mace.
ones.
Thank
You're
you.
one of the
I'll
last
wear this
few.
proudly.
Yeah,
Excellent.
We've got an 11-day
Long
road trip coming up Monday. Michael,
right.
bring it on the road trip.
I want to see
I'll wear it
that.
to dinner at Soto in Toronto.
Yeah,
Is that fancy?
Oh, it's the nicest place in Toronto. And
Is
Tim
it?
Harris, our boss, is flying in and throwing us a big dinner in Toronto.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. All right, coming up next, we're going to do the 2 o'clock call of the day. 877-710-ESPN. Now, you've heard all sorts of wild Shohei Ohtani-Ippei rumors. Maybe you've got your first chance to react here. Lakers, every game is critical. They're a half game up on Golden State. They're in the 9. Golden State is in the 10. Lakers at home to an Embiid-less Philadelphia 76ers team tonight. Dodgers spring training coming to an end, and they open up next Thursday. Next Thursday at Dodger Stadium against the Cardinals, so it's coming fast.
That's their real opening day.
Regular
so to
season
speak.
opener, yeah. So all that, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-ESPN. Plus Pepe is going to be in here. Mason, Ireland, 710-ESPN.
Okay, Mirror Audio Video just gave away a 75-inch TV on the Travis and Sliwa Show. They've been serving LA sports fans for more than 40 years. Why? Isaac and Roy and the team at Mirror can deliver for you products and services that others just don't offer. Cutting-edge home automation from Crestron, Lutron, and Control4. You want to have one-touch control over everything in your house? From your pool to your lights to your window shades, Mirror is the place. Better, faster Wi-Fi? Gotta be Mirror. Plus, and we can't stress this enough, world-class customer service. You know when you call some big company, they throw you into phone jail? Not going to happen at Mirror. Try it right now. Call this number, 310-234-4010. When you call, Isaac or Roy picks up, and just like that, you're taken care of. So do like we do and call Mirror today, 310-234-4010. tell them Mason and Ireland sent you. They'll hook you up for sure. That's Mirror Audio Video in Westwood.
With this brand new app called Cut, K-U-T-T, and it allows for actual betting. So Ireland, I have got Yale plus 12.5 versus Auburn, $10 straight up with one of our listeners. What do you think?
You've got a chance. 9:40 to go in the first half. Auburn 24, Yale 21. They're hanging.
Nice.
They're
so
hanging with it.
In it. And if
you
you
got a chance there.
If you want to bet against me or bet against Bergman or anybody else, friends, the public, download the Cut app, K-U-T-T. Join the ESPN LA social group, and we will start the betting. I'm still looking for some action on Duke and Vermont. Duke and Vermont.
How dumb is the NCAA Women's Committee to put Iowa, the biggest draw in college basketball, in the toughest bracket?
Right,
Isn't that stupid?
and arrange them to play LSU in a rematch of last year's championship game before the Final Four.
Unbelievable. Because as soon as Caitlin and Hawkeyes get bumped out, the ratings are going to go.
Oh, sure.
Why would you do
Why
that?
wouldn't they give them like a clean sweep all the way to the Final Four?
Almost guarantee they'll be in the Final Four.
Isn't there another good team too? They're all in the same bracket.
Isn't USC in a tough bracket too?
USC
with Juju?
with Juju.
Yeah.
Iowa State with Caitlin and
Iowa.
LSU. Iowa with Caitlin and LSU with Reese are all in the same bracket.
No, all in the same bracket?
I don't know if USC is, but I know they're in a tough bracket too because they have a hard time getting to Final Four.
All right, you guys want to do 2 o'clock call of the day?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here is Walrus in Encino. Hey, Walrus, you're on ESPN LA. Hi.
Walrus.
Brian, you putting him up?
Maybe a shark got him.
Yeah, he's up.
Walrus, last chance. Let me try it. Nope.
Forget it.
Okay.
Sounds like Slee was there.
Done. All right. Yeah, no, it's don't pick on Slee. That's not Slee.
According to the phone, he's still on the line.
Sure.
Yeah, there's like a weird. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah,
I've never seen that circle with the line
I
through
don't
it
know
before.
what that means.
What did you do? Did you put them on?
It's like the
Yeah,
international.
did you? When I did it, did you do it?
No, I didn't touch it. But now I've never seen that before. I've never seen that.
All right, let's try it. All right, Walrus, you there?
There you go.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
It's so funny. First off, I was talking to Lindsay. She's never gotten the credit she deserves for the production that she did with you all in 2020 when there was nothing to talk about. Honestly, I don't know why that's never been said over the radio. It was incredible what she did.
Thank you.
And, you know,
hey, Wallace, let me interrupt here just for a second. It is absolutely true. Lindsay was our producer during the most difficult stretch in the history of the show, where there was nothing happening in the world of
No
sports.
sports,
None
literally
whatsoever.
anything.
And yet, Lindsay did keep things afloat. So, Lindsay, thank you.
I always like to say our Larry King interview was one of my favorite interviews.
It was
ever.
a great interview.
Yes. When we asked him, will you ever get married again? And he gave us the greatest answer of all time. He goes, no, then you have to come home and you have a wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Walrus, is that why you called?
Well, no, I've been wanting to say that for a long time, but I called John because you all were talking about ghosts on Wednesday.
Yeah, Michael's here. He believes in ghosts.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, right. So, Michael, I know I like you. I've heard you say before, right? Black folks don't do ghosts.
Right.
Yep.
So, Michael, think about this, okay? Because you don't want to be encountered by a ghost. John was saying that he has never had an experience with a ghost before.
And I've been openly courting it, Walrus. I want a ghost to come visit me.
So my question then, John, is why is that? What about you makes ghosts afraid?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I think it's
I don't think they're
critically
afraid.
important
I think they know they can't spook me, so it's no fun for them. And then they just go to somebody they can spook.
Perhaps. I don't know, though. You know, versus Mason, you were talking about Amelia Earhart, and you know,
She
speaking
can't.
ill of the
That's
dead,
the
saying
thing.
she was a bad pilot.
Nobody will say she could not a good driver.
Yeah. So, Ireland, if you were sitting at home one night and all of a sudden, real quiet, all of a sudden the cabinets flung open and dishes flew out, that wouldn't spook you?
Of course, that would
That's
spook you.
happened.
Do I get to see the ghost?
No, you know, they just happen. They just come flying
You
out
see
of the cabinet.
the repercussions of the ghost, the
That wouldn't
dishes
spook you.
flying and all that.
Yeah, I would be like, oh crap, now I got to clean them up. No, I want to see the ghost. I
Yeah.
want to meet with them. I want to talk to them.
Wow.
When we were in that haunted hotel in Oklahoma City, I was like, I was sleeping with my door unlocked and everything. It didn't happen.
Effie didn't come see you.
Effie did not come.
So you said you had new info
Okay, so
on Shohei and Ippei.
there's a woman named Tisha Thompson who was an investigative reporter for ESPN. She was on our morning show yesterday.
Oh, okay, good.
She's been kind of the lead reporter on this Shohei story for ESPN. She has issued a timeline of everything that came down.
The old TikTok.
Right. And my impression of this whole story has been that the timeline doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I mean. So, and she goes in great detail. This is on ESPN.com right now. After the game on Wednesday, the Dodgers hold a meeting in the clubhouse. Team owner Mark Walter tells the players a negative story is coming. Mizuhara apologizes and tells the team he has a gambling addiction. A Dodgers executive, Andrew Friedman, stands up and tells the whole team Ohtani has helped cover Mizuhara's losses.
Okay.
Okay. And everybody in the meeting now knows the story that Mizuhara told ESPN.
Right, right.
So at this point, Shohei's aware of the losses, and he helped cover them. On the way back to the hotel, Ohtani starts asking questions about what had been said in the clubhouse. Because remember now, the only way Shohei is getting information is through Ippei.
Yes.
Is through Mizuhara.
Right.
So that's when, now Mizuhara is ashamed. He's out of it. They bring in a backup interpreter.
Yes.
And Ohtani says, hey, what did Ippei say in the meeting?
Oh.
And the backup interpreter explains it. And then Shohei says, that's not what happened. He's lying. That's not his
So he didn't understand the confession that
So I'm
Ippei
going to
made
put this
before
out
the
there,
team.
which
Got
backs
it.
up your possible
Yeah.
version of the story. I'm going to throw this out as a possibility.
Okay.
It is possible that Ippei just pulled a long con on everybody. That, in other words, he told Shohei one thing. Mark Walter stands up, tells the team, story's coming. Andrew Friedman stands up and says, look, Shohei covered this guy's gambling losses. We're moving forward.
Right.
And Shohei says, okay, story's over. Then he's walking back to the hotel with the new interpreter, and he says, hey,
what did Ippei say?
What did Ippei? How did Ippei explain this? What did he say? And the interpreter tells me, he goes, that's not what happened. That's not my version of the story. Then the agents get involved and say, okay, he's been getting bad information the whole time.
Right.
So you got to throw that now out there
Yes,
as a possibility.
yes.
That maybe Ippei conned everybody. Now, I still believe that Shohei knew. Matter of fact, this story, I encourage everybody to read this Tisha Thompson story.
Yeah, I've
on
got it
ESPN.
open right now. It's really good.
This story is so detailed that it says at one point they were sitting next to each other and sent 6 to 8 wire transfers with Shohei sending the money, which makes perfect sense to me because it backs up Lindsay's version of events when Lindsay said, you're going to get a whole bunch of warnings, you're going to get a whole bunch of fraud alerts. If Shohei's sitting at the computer and he's getting all those, he says, yeah, don't worry about it, it's me, and he keeps sending the money, then that would explain that. So I still think that's what happened. But we have to allow for the possibility that Ippei conned everybody, including Shohei.
So one little note, after all this stuff, ESPN reached Ippei by phone. Ippei says he lied in his interview that he did with ESPN, the big 90-minute interview.
Does he admit lying to Shohei?
He walks back much of what he said. He tells ESPN Ohtani had no knowledge of his gambling activities, debts, or efforts to repay them.
Yeah, I still think Shohei helped out his friend, paid off his debt, and
I think his friend robbed him blind.
Well, both things could be true.
Yeah.
I don't think Shohei gambled.
I do not either.
And Michael, what do you think? Who do you believe?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you gotta have some proof to prove to me that Shohei gambled. So I don't think. Obviously, I think he knew about it, and he probably did help out his friend. But that doesn't mean he's gambling.
Because Ippei now says Ohtani had no knowledge of his gambling debts or efforts to repay them. That says to me, and Michael, you probably, you run in a different world where people have, I'm sure somebody manages Clay's money,
Yeah.
somebody is it not possible to embezzle
Well, when you were
that
playing with
money?
Kareem, didn't a business manager take Kareem to the
a lot.
cleaners?
Yeah, no. Clay has his business got a corporation or manager company gets audited yearly, so they can't steal stuff.
Right, so you got
Right.
somebody watching
Right,
him. That's
yeah.
the old Shaq thing.
Because I had a business manager who had access to everything. I was young and dumb. I would have had no idea.
Right. Yeah, if you're not paying attention.
I didn't have somebody watching the guy that was watching my
So,
money.
yeah, and this guy gets audited. His company gets audited by the SEC because he
Sure.
manages a lot of athletes. So if he was skimming, if his company was skimming off the top, he would be found out and be put in jail.
All right, so my hope is, again, my hope is selfish because I just want to see Shohei play for the Dodgers. My hope is Major League Baseball looks at it, comes to the conclusion that Shohei did not gamble, and fines him for being stupid.
Fines him for what? You can't
for,
fine him.
for paying off the dets.
That's his buddy. That's got nothing to do with baseball.
But Shohei wired the money directly
To an illegal bookmaker.
Oh.
So I don't think you can have that precedent and do nothing.
Unless it was
But Michael, he makes $700 million. A fine to him means nothing. He can pay a fine with his couch
He makes
cushions.
$2 million now.
Yeah, right. Only $2 million
Only
here
two.
at the moment. Yeah,
Right, I'll try to-
exactly.
Okay, coming up next, Pepe Montilla will join us.
Oh, Pepe's here.
And I have a question primarily for Michael and Pepe about the upcoming Olympics and how they could have been altered forever from an NBA perspective.
Okay.
I'll do it when we come back.
All right, we'll do that coming up. Hey, it's Friday. You're driving home from work and some moron is texting or zoned out or whatever on their phone and they cause a traffic accident. Now, you're immediately sore. You call your doctor's office and they're already closed for the weekend. So then you wait until Monday and you call them and they're booked solid and you can't get in for an appointment for another week. And all of a sudden you've gone 10 days without any treatment for your injury. Don't do this to yourself. If you're injured, call Jacob. Even Friday night, middle of the night, call Jacob. He and his team will guide you, letting you know if you should go to urgent care or the ER. They'll schedule a doctor's appointment for you for Monday, so they'll have a specialist in your area that you can see who will document your injuries, and you will get back on the road to recovery without any delay. If you're injured in an accident, don't try to do anything yourself. Call Jacob. Let him help you. A lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. Call Jacob. He'll win for you. 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Or remember,
accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
CallJacob.com. Don't forget to follow Call Jacob on Instagram. Go to @call.jacob. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm
his worst loss as a pro, a 44-point blowout. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up, even though Embiid's not playing tonight, is Embiid became a French citizen in 2020.